from 0 to 343.27 miles per hour in just 3.65 seconds. That's how long it took Britney Force to do what no TopFuel driver had ever done before. With more horsepower than a Boeing 747 and more G-force than a fighter jet, she strapped into a 25-foot rocket on wheels and shattered a limit that was never meant to be touched. At that speed, there's no second chance. You need precision, pressure, and a bit of luck to make it. But did Britney survive it? Britney Force didn't grow up dreaming of drag racing glory. Not exactly. Even though her last name is practically royalty in the NHRA world, her path wasn't a straight shot to the driver's seat. She's the daughter of the legendary racer John Force, 16-time funny car world champion, and one of the most iconic figures in motorsports. Her childhood was surrounded by the roar of engines and the smell of nitro, but Britney wasn't always sold on following in her dad's tire tracks. As a kid, she was more into cheerleading and gymnastics than burnout, smoke, and reaction times. Cameras caught some of this on the reality show Driving Force, where Britney, her sisters, and their dad offered a behind-the-scenes look at their chaotic lives. But away from the spotlight, Britney stayed focused on her education. But something about the track kept calling her back. After college, Britney didn't rush into racing. Instead, she carefully stepped into the world her family had ruled for decades. She started with small training classes, taking time to learn the basics, away from the spotlight and without the pressure of living up to the Force name. Because for her, it wasn't about chasing fame or carrying on a legacy. She wanted to build real skills, earn respect on her own terms, and figure out if she truly belonged in the driver's seat of a machine that could blast past 300 miles per hour in a heartbeat. Turns out, she did. Britney didn't take shortcuts. Her rise through the NHRA ranks wasn't handed to her, it was earned. Every pass down the track, every practice run, every quiet debrief with her crew taught her what it really meant to be part of this world, not as a force, but as a racer. And in 2013, that journey brought her to the biggest stage of all. When Britney Force made her TopFuel debut in 2013, she was stepping into the most extreme form of drag racing on Earth. These cars are brutal. They shake the track, rattle bones, and hit over 330 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. This was the deep end, and Britney dove in head first. She was one of only a few women ever to compete in TopFuel at the professional level, and the spotlight was immediate. Every race was a test, not just of speed, but of resilience. She faced veterans with decades of experience and had to prove over and over that she wasn't just a famous last name on the roster. But the breakthrough moments came. In 2016, she became the first woman to win the NHRA 4-wide nationals in Charlotte, silencing critics and making it clear she could compete with anyone. A year later, she did something even bigger. She won the 2017 NHRA TopFuel World Championship, which made her only the second woman in history to earn that title, and the first in over 3 decades since Shirley Muldowney blazed the trail in 1982. Britney had arrived, and not as a novelty or a story. She was a serious competitor with the skill, the team, and the fire to chase greatness. Over the next few years, she began rewriting the record books, and soon, she'd push the limits of what a dragster and a human could do. By the time 2023 rolled around, Britney Force was already one of the fastest drivers in the world. She has shattered records before. She even held the TopFuel speed record at 341.59 miles per hour in April this year. But on July 20th, 2025, Britney Force did what no one thought was possible again. She broke her own record in the same year. It happened at the NHRA Mile High Nationals at Bandamere Speedway, with hot air, high altitude, and not exactly ideal conditions for a speed record. But that's what made it even more shocking. She lined up for her final qualifying run, cool and focused. And then it happened. In just 3.650 seconds, she crossed the line at a staggering 343.27 miles per hour, the fastest speed ever recorded in NHRA TopFuel history. Britney had once again defied expectations and physics. When her crew delivered the news, she reacted with the same calm energy fans have come to admire. No fist pumping or screaming. Britney broke her previous record by 1.68 miles per hour, a massive leap in a sport where gains are usually measured in hundredths. It was absolute domination. Her crew chief, David Grubnik, later revealed that they'd been chasing this setup for weeks. Small tweaks to ignition timing, clutch flow, and track conditions finally aligned. So, the car was just perfect. And the most remarkable part is that Britney made it look easy. At 343 plus miles per hour, you're not really driving, you're basically surviving. At speeds like that, the car becomes nearly unmanageable. It becomes more about surviving. The G-forces hit over 5.5, the vibrations rattle your spine, and one wrong move can send the car sideways. But Britney stayed locked in, cool as ever, guiding her rocket down the strip like she was born for it. That single run didn't just earn her a record, it cemented her place in drag racing history. And behind that jaw-dropping moment was a combination of science, engineering, and human skill that few people truly understand. And if Britney going 343 plus miles an hour didn't blow your hair back, what will? Don't just sit there in awe. Subscribe and ride with us as we chase the next one. To really understand how Britney Force hit 343 plus miles per hour, you have to look under the hood, literally and figuratively. Because no one gets to that kind of speed by accident. It takes a team, a machine, and some serious physics. Her TopFuel dragster is a monster. We're talking 25 feet long, weighing just over 2,300 pounds, and packing more than 11,000 horsepower. That's more than an F1 car, a NASCAR, and a jet fighter combined, all squeezed into a straight-line rocket. It runs on nitromethane, a fuel so volatile that just a few gallons can make the earth shake. When she hits the throttle, the car launches to 100 miles per hour in under a second. By the 8th mile mark, she's already clocking over 300. But power alone isn't enough. Aerodynamics plays a huge role. The body of her dragster is designed to slice through air with minimal resistance, while the giant rear wing creates thousands of pounds of downforce to keep the tires glued to the track. Any disruption in that airflow or any loss of traction, and it's game over. Then there's the crew. They fine-tune every part of the car, from fuel flow, clutch timing, ignition curve, you name it. And of course, there's Britney herself. Driving a TopFuel car is more about anticipating than reacting. Everything happens in the blink of an eye, and the G-forces make it hard to even breathe. The physical and mental strain is off the charts, but Britney has trained herself to stay calm under insane pressure. That's what allows her to guide this monster with such precision. So, when you see that number 343.27, it's not just a stat. It's the result of perfect execution, cutting-edge engineering, and nerves of steel. That's what makes Britney's speed possible. At the end, Britney Force's record-breaking run wasn't just a personal milestone. It was a statement for all the women in motorsports. Because for decades, motorsports have been a space dominated by men. From the drivers to the crew chiefs to the sponsors, the spotlight rarely shone on women. And yet, here was Britney, not just competing, but leading, setting records, winning championships, and rewriting what people thought women could do behind the wheel. She's not the first woman to make waves in drag racing. Legends like Shirley Muldowney paved the way back in the 70s and 80s, smashing barriers and proving that gender had nothing to do with grit. But Britney's rise came in a modern era where millions are watching, social media is always rolling, and every move is scrutinized. That makes her success even more powerful. Young girls watching the NHRA now don't just see a fast car, they see someone who looks like them setting world records. And the impact goes beyond fans. Britney's presence at the top of TopFuel is inspiring teams and sponsors to take chances on more women. Not just as drivers, but in engineering roles, in the pits, on the strategy side as well. What makes it even better is that Britney doesn't wear it like a badge. She's never been one for bold statements or flashy headlines. She lets her speed do the talking, and in doing that, she's making the loudest statement of all. Her success isn't about being a woman in motorsports, it's about being great in motorsports, and that's the kind of legacy that sticks. So where does Britney Force go from here? She's already done what most drivers only dream about: a world championship, multiple national records, and now the fastest TopFuel run in history. But if you think she's slowing down, think again. At just 38, Britney's still in her prime. And unlike many sports, drag racing isn't all about age, it's about focus, feel, and experience. Every pass down the track adds to a driver's intuition, and Britney has more of that now than ever. She's surrounded by one of the best teams in the sport. There's still unfinished business. She's made it clear she wants another championship, and with her current form, that goal feels within reach. But more than titles, Britney seems focused on consistency. She wants to be a threat every weekend. She wants to keep pushing the boundaries of speed and performance without losing the control and composure that made her famous in the first place. Off the track, Britney's also becoming more visible. Whether it's through interviews, racing media, or appearances, she's slowly stepping into the role of a mentor, a role model, and maybe even a future team leader. So, was Britney's record the craziest motorsport moment you've seen? Or is there another wild speed feat we should cover next? Let us know in the comments below. I read every single one of them. And thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed this ride, please subscribe, hit that like button, and tap the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into extreme records. See you in the next one.